What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with a vintage collection market update. Before I begin, I want to apologize. So I made that video that talked about store exclusive TVC and Walmart's kind of inability to deliver product to the customers undamaged. And, you know, I've rubbed some people the wrong way. It was largely unintentional, but I think I owe an apology to some folks. So first of all, I want to apologize to the Vintage Collection Facebook group. It's a fantastic group. It's a huge group. It's the definitive Facebook group. And it's run, one of the admins is John Miko. And I want to personally apologize to him because, you know, it's not my place to say how that group is run and how I think they should handle Hasbro complaints. It's not my place to say that. And, you know, first of all, I just started collecting TVC like in the last year and a half to 2 years. Okay. So I'm a newbie anyway. So my opinion means nothing, especially in terms of how another group is run. It's not my place to say anything. So they should run their thing however they want to run it. And my perception that the Facebook group for the Vintage Collection has any kind of sway with Hasbro was kind of misguided and ignorant. Hasbro's going to do what Hasbro's going to do, and no matter how much we as collectors protest as to how they handle store exclusives, nothing's going to change. And I've kind of resigned myself to that fact. And so I want to apologize to John and to unnamed YouTubers who I, you know, mistakenly thought that potentially they had some sway with Hasbro to kind of, you know, light a fire under them in terms of, you know, trying to work with their retail distribution partners to deliver product undamaged. And I shouldn't have involved them at all. I shouldn't have brought it up at all, or their names up at all, I should say. And, you know, so that's how I feel about it. The basic premise of the video, I still stand behind, which is that Hasbro is just as much at fault, in my opinion, for how their retail distribution partners deliver store exclusives to customers. They should work with them, in my opinion. So I think they're just as much at fault as Walmart or Target or Amazon or whoever else. But involving those other parties in that video was something I probably shouldn't have done. And I think moving forward, I'm just going to talk about toys. I'm not going to complain or rant or whatever you want to call it. And so that's how I feel about it. And while the graphic that I just put up is really meant to get a chuckle out of you, the apology is sincere. Okay, it's a sincere apology to those guys. So, all right, let's dig into some vintage collection. These are all ungraded and really nice examples that kind of span the gamut. And I want to start with this one. This is VC56 Cathaba. And this is the red bandana variant. So he's got two of them. We got the brown bandana coming up after this, but this number was completely shocking to me. I did not expect this. And admittedly, this was a really nice mint example. It's got the Darth Maul offer on the front, unpunched, and just looks like a really, really clean example. But that price was quite shocking to me. So $405 US on 41 bids. This sold two days ago, but man, what a high number. Now, let's compare that to what the brown bandana sells for over here. And it looks like it was the same seller. And it was another unpunched example, but this one had the brown bandana, as you can see there. Same card back with the Darth Maul offer. That one sold for $147.50. So that just shows you the massive price disparity and the high demand, at least here in the U.S., for the red bandana version. Now, I've spoken with other collectors informally that are over in the UK and elsewhere that have said that the red bandana over there is very common and it's not nearly as expensive. So you guys can correct me in the comments below if I'm incorrect on that, but that's what I remember. I seem to remember from past conversations. But so we got 405 versus 147 for, it looks like about the same condition, just the bandana color was different. Same seller also had this one. This was VC72, the Naboo Pilot. I thought that price was pretty good. It sold for 51 bucks on free shipping. And it had a little bit of wave to the card, maybe some very light edge wear, things like that. You can see a very light ding there above the hang tab there, but $51 is a pretty good deal. I mean, we've seen that sell for quite a bit higher than that. Same seller also had the Rebel Soldier with the Echo Base Battle Gear. This had the prototype Boba Fett offer and is on the US card, unpunched. That one sold for $82.50. I thought that price was great, just given that we've seen very easily see that figure can sell, $100 and above. And again, this same seller had a number of really nice examples. This was the Bastilla Sean Unpunched character debut with the same prototype FET offer. That one sold for $180 with free shipping. So pretty good prices there, pretty reasonable prices if you ask me for, other than the red bandana Cathaba. I thought all those other prices were pretty good. The Lumat VC104, the original issue, I can't tell if that's lighting or if it's got a scuff or something below that warning label, but beautiful item. And it looked like on the back it had just some very, very light edge wear. You can see kind of some light edge wear all the way around the card, but still, that didn't stop the bidders. That sold for $153 plus shipping, 27 bids. That closed yesterday. Going back to Slave Leia on the Revenge of the Jedi card, and this is something that I've talked about with fellow collectors, that this one has the paperwork inside for the offer, so it does not, but it does not have the actual offer on the card. So it was most likely taken off unless it was an error, factory error, that it was, not, it was accidentally not, the sticker was accidentally not applied prior to shipping. Otherwise, that sticker probably was taken off the card with the offer, since it has the offer paperwork inside. But anyway, that Revenge of the Jedi Leia, that one sold for $260, so it didn't seem to stop the bids too much. It looked like it was in fantastic condition overall. Here now, this seller, Rebel Scum _ Vintage, this guy knows how to take photos. I got to compliment this guy. His photos look like Kenner press worthy. I mean, they were really, really nice photos. And here was Darth Sidious on the Phantom Menace card back, just some light edge wear here and there. That one sold for a pretty good price, $57 with, I mean, it did have $20 shipping, so keep that in mind. That it probably, kept the price down a little bit. So let's call that $76. And again, just some very light edge wear around the edges, but a pretty nice example there. But look how awesome those photos are. I wish I could take photos like that for my Instagram. The same seller had VC146 Luke Skywalker in his crate outfit. This is one I'd love to get, and the price on this one had just looks like really light edge wear around the hang tab there and above the warning label, but a nice example overall. That sold for $83 once you factor in the $20 shipping. So about right. I mean, that's where I see Luke Skywalker crates sell over here, is anywhere from kind of $65 to $85 range. I have not, to my knowledge, I have not seen any Luke crates sell for the $100 magic price point yet, but certainly it's a possibility. Here's the original issue Obi-Wan Kenobi on the Clone Wars card back. That one sold for $91. About right. I always, considered Obi-Wan to be kind of pushing $100, so that's probably about right. But a really nice example overall, very clean. One we've talked about many times. This is the Imperial Assault Tank Commander. This one sold for $101 after shipping. One that just continues to kind of hold its value in that, upper $80 to $90 range, all the way up to $100. So I think I've even seen a few that have hit like $130, $140. So, but anyway, overall these prices were not bad. This Shock Trooper was on the Canadian car back, and it was unpunched, but it has a defect there on the actual hang tab. And this is the same problem that I have on my VC34 Canadian Jango FET. It's not nearly as pronounced as this example is with that kind of crease, but I'm just wondering if other collectors can kind of verify that for me, that it must have been a manufacturing process for these Canadian card backs where that hang tab was damaged as it rolled through the production process. I just see so many unpunched Canadian examples that have that issue, but still a very nice example of the Shock Trooper. That one sold for $107 plus the $20 shipping. And here is the Canadian General Grievous. This one was punched. It did have a couple of minor dings here and there on the card back. Here's the back of it with that Canadian multi-language on the back. And that one sold for $125 plus $20 shipping. And this one was another high number. This was Jar Jar Binks VC108. And it looked pretty immaculate and unpunched again. And this one sold for $147.50 after shipping. And admittedly, if you're in Canada, I would imagine that shipping price is probably a little bit lower. But at least for here in the U.S., that's what I was quoted for the shipping price. But that's probably pretty much in line. I think we've seen many Jar Jar Binks sell over $100 pretty regularly. So for a nice clean example like that, that's probably in line. Here's another one that always has been pretty high, but continues to hold its value pretty well. This is Darth Vader, the Emperor's Wrath version. It looks like his cape or something got caught behind him when it got put into the blister. So his cape's kind of furled up there, so it looks kind of strange. But that one sold for $161 plus shipping. Really nice unpunched example. It did have a little bit of wear there above the warning label, as you can see, but just one that continues to hold its value. The same seller also had VC01 Dengar, and this one was on the Canadian card back, so I was definitely drooling over this one. Very, very nice item and in great shape overall, and that one sold for a big number, $167.50 plus shipping. But for me personally, that's the first time I've seen the Dengar on the Canadian card back. I just, you know, those early VCs on the Canadian cards are not very plentiful. We've talked about Grand Moff Tarkin at length over the last few TVC market updates, and this one sold for a big number again. This one was VC98, unpunched, very, very clean example. Just maybe, yeah, it looks like it just has some very light edge wear there on the right-hand side of the card. But the rest of it looked really clean, and that one sold for $188 before shipping. And then finally, I wanted to finish off with a nice lot. This was a lot of the Blu-ray deleted scene series of figures. So it had the Luke lightsaber construction, the Sandstorm Princess Leia, the Sandstorm Lando, Colonel Kraken from the Millennium Falcon, and then the Mon Calamari Rebel pilot. So I had all five, to my knowledge, I think this is all of them, of the deleted scene figures, and that one sold for $280 on 25 bids with free shipping. So that seller had a number of really beautiful items, though. So anyway, I think in general, what do we learn? I think that the prices, for the most part, are pretty flat. I haven't seen anything other than maybe that Cathaba with the red bandana, which clearly was much higher than I expected it to go for. The rest of these, I think, were kind of right in line with where we've seen with, over the last few weeks with past market updates. So whether that's a sign that we're kind of reaching a peak with vintage collection prices and we're going to either hold steady or maybe even see a slight drop, who knows? But I just thought it was some pretty interesting data from this past weekend's auctions. If you like this video and you're new to the channel, welcome, and please consider subscribing. And thank you so much to my existing subscribers and to my Patreon supporters. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again, and I'll be back soon.